All right, everybody, how y'all doing? Welcome to Vesta Angels. This is going to be your reading for September the 11th, 2023. All right. I want to take the time and wish my dad a happy birthday. He is no longer here. Um, he departed from me about 2007. So yeah, today's is my dad's birthday. So happy birthday, Daddy. All right, so we got the health card coming out. I put a short out this morning on my other channel, Yes or No Tarot LLC. The link to it is in my description area, the About section, and also the Community tab. I'm going to start putting a lot of shorts out over there so I can get some views and some more subscribers because I'm really ready to go live over there too. But I have to have a certain amount of watch time and subscribers over there to start going live. So we'll have another channel, to kind of work with. So always remember, if you have subscribed, pay attention to the feed because I will also do readings over there. Okay, so you'll have more than one reading to watch. All right, so we have male and female. I don't know why I'm using these past life cards. I also put out a short for this channel, but then it got copyrighted, and I don't get that. It got copyrighted off of music that YouTube provided, which is by a different artist. So I don't even know how that goes. So I'm gonna have to, if I decide to do shorts, I'm gonna have to use the music that YouTube provides. But I don't see how everybody else can also, this card came out this morning. Other people use and do shorts, artist music, and I bet they're not getting copyrighted. But I know also, other artists, YouTubers, they mix the music. That's one thing that you gotta do. So I'll work on that. Okay, so food and hunger. What is this saying? I usually use these cards for private readings. When somebody requests a past life personal reading. I don't know why I'm doing these, actually. I guess I just wanted to do a complicated reading today, huh? Oh, High Priestess, Pisces. Oh, it can be because this during K2 and Rahu. Boy, they K2 and Ratu. They K2 and Rahu is something serious, boy. It's finna cause some major, major, major changes for the next year and a half. Hey, Fiora, I haven't seen your name in a long time. All right, so we have imprisonment and or slavery in reverse. So, you know what? Let me clarify these because this is giving it needs to be clarified. Let me see. What I do see though is that now this is not going to be, of course, for everybody. We have very similar past lives, right? Because if you really think about it, we're not too far apart. We're not too much disassociated, okay? All of our bloodlines are mixed. Don't sit around and let somebody tell you that, no, I'm only one race. No, you're not, okay? when you actually think about your lineage, your ancestry, your past, you have at least over 1 million ancestors, right? You have over at least 1 million ancestors. And it's going to be a combination of all different nationality, races, religions, all type of things. Going back to before you was even thought about as a mini, mini seed, a very small seed, right? Especially when you got slavery and imprisonment here. Earlier this morning, the Atlantis card came out. So whether you believe in the Atlantics and the, all different stuff, it's not, you can't necessarily say that it was not. Okay, we have so much of honesty and dishonesty when we have been taught in school through our own heritage, through our own parents and family and lineage about history. And that's what history is something or information that is passed down, and then also it can be taught. But just because it's taught to you, okay, or passed down to you, don't necessarily mean that it's the truth. Okay, because we're all adults here. However you move, however I move about, okay, it may be the same, similar, or totally different. But if we have to go in and uncover artifacts and dust away sand to reveal this, to reveal that, to pull up tombs and uh, all of this different stuff far as to learn about history, then it's more than that that even needs recovering. Okay, so I'm just saying all that to say, have an open mind, because a lot of times some of us remember our past life. We get glimpses, we get aha moments. High priestess over there, some of us just know. It depends on what level of meditation and what level that you are tapped into, to be able to get that information, right, from your unconscious mind, the unconscious mind of your spirit, your soul, your brain. So what I do see here is that somebody was escaped imprisonment and or some type of slavery. Okay. And binary, non-binary. Okay. If you think back to history, and I don't know what time period this could have been for some of you as past life, because you had more than one. Um, but this can be coming out as the male female here in reverse. If you don't know that if you were a divine feminine in a past lifetime, then most likely you're a masculine in this lifetime. If you're a masculine now, then you were divine feminine in your past life. And how you can get some type of clues regarding that is the way that you think, act, the way that you love, the way also sometimes that you hold on to things, how you contemplate, do or don't you want children, do or don't you want to get married. For some of you, okay, because a lot of us are different and see ourselves differently. I'm not a judgmental person. Some people in this lifetime choose to change their sex or how they feel what their sex should be. Okay. Remember that you are a spiritual being living in a human shell. Only the shell here in this realm determines, supposed to be, what sex or what type of sex you are. Okay. Because when you die and pass over or reincarnate, whatever you feel that your religious denomination is, your body of a shell disintegrate and turns back into dust and of course bones, right? There is no more external and internal um, organs to portray what type of sex that you decided or want to speak up on, that you wanted to express or to actually be in this lifetime, because the shell of a body will be no good anymore. Okay, so the reason I'm saying that is because the male female card is in reverse. So in whatever lifetime, past lifetime that this was, um, it wasn't about whether you were female or masculine. Okay. Um, if you also think about during the Egyptian times, a lot of the high priest, um, the scholars, the sorcerers, however you want to say, the pharaohs would keep the high priestess or the high priest very close to them. They would pay very close attention to what that seer, okay, would dictate or get advice from them about how they would, um, do their army, go out and do war. What is the stars, or what if the other gods are being pleased, etc., etc. So somebody here was a high priest, a high priestess in a past life. Um, you grew up there in that particular region. It wasn't on a farm. It wasn't. So it could have been like in what they would call a rural or some type of city life, because also the ships are in reverse. So it was like you were born there. You were born in that particular region area, and this was your calling as a high priest, a high priestess. I feel that you, okay, because of your gifts of what you were born with or given to, or practice, you were not in prison and you were not part of the slavery of your area, of your region during that time period. Okay. Um, you also could have done certain practices to be able to obtain or to pay for your food. I feel that also a lot of the times that you went very hungry. Now, this can be until whatever king, pharaoh, whatever this time period was for you, this is how you were able to survive. Okay, by the practices that you did and what you were able to see or foresight and give that information to whatever emperor or pharaoh or god, um, whoever was in control of that era, okay, at that time. Hmm. This is how you were able to bring yourself out of hunger, out of stress, and I believe because a lot of the high priest and high priestess during whatever time period this was, especially around, if it was the Egyptian time, they wore a lot of different makeup, right? So a lot of those humans at that time, you couldn't really tell also by the way they would dress. Um, it was a lot of Egyptian or people that was having intimate affairs with same sexes. they were not very strict on how our rules and regulations say we ought to be in this lifetime. Okay, um, that was the norm, and you have to remember that each era thought about and seen different things or seen things very differently. So during the Egyptian times, as you know, like Cleopatra slept with her own cousin, and you know, and I don't think I have to say allegedly. Okay, but you could pull all of that up. Okay, that's already been said. But to keep royalty with royalty, um, people would sleep with their own family members to keep the royal blood royal. Okay, they would not mingle with prisoners or slaves, um, to bring that into like the royal family, right? So sleeping with what they considered family members, sleeping with the same sex, all of that was the norm. Okay, so, and I say that again because the male female card here is in reverse. So it wasn't about you saying where or standing up for yourself where I'm a divine feminine or I'm a masculine. It didn't matter during whatever time period this was for you. Okay, as a high priest or a high priestess, you were seen for your gifts, the things for your seen for your foresight, your information, your downloads. Okay, see there how the Ace of Wands came out in reverse. It wasn't about, and we know as you look at videos on YouTube, the Ace of Wands is about intimacy, or it can be. It's a call to action. So it wasn't about, I feel, a call to action, or you didn't really have to do a lot of action as a prisoner or a slave during this time period. And you know, if you listen to what I'm saying as the reading, and you think now about how you think about things, what you're very interested in. Do you love to research? Do you love to watch the History Channel? Do you love to watch movies, or are you a sci-fi person? You know, all of those different things that make up who you are now can tie into this reading. Okay. So we have the Ace of Cups. You see that? I was saying as a seer. You see the eye? So with the Ace of Cups here, this is talking about the love that you have for yourself. Always. Um, for some of you right now, this could be what you're needing to get back into, which is how you take action for oneself. How do you stand up for yourself? How do you love yourself right now? How do you treat yourself right now? Because with being the high priest or the high priestess, um, you already know that all is love. Love is all. You already like know. You already know like what to do. Your intuition is very keen, very strong. You know who to love and what to love and when to do it. You also think about or may go through periods of time where you don't eat, or you may overeat. Because your past life also could be bringing up the issues that you went through, far as gathering food, you know, searching for food, things that you had to do or produce or to be. The I here, okay, the high priestess or uh, high priest, things that you had to do in order for exchange of food or to keep a living, okay, or shelter. You also could have fed a lot of people in your area or during your time period. So you could have been like an actual priest where that you fed the hungry and the homeless, and maybe you like to do things like that in this lifetime. Maybe you're a person that is very concerned about the homeless people, making plates, making sandwiches, taking them, personal care needs and things like that around the holidays or 24/7, not just around Thanksgiving and Christmas like you just see a couple of people doing. Maybe when you see people that are hungry, um, or you have issues when it comes to food. So it can be, different things about your diet that you go through. Some of you right now are going through a fasting, or you're thinking about it. Seven of Cups in reverse. This is something that you chose to want to do and to be as a past life. You wanted to be um, a high priestess, a priest. So you could have had very strong religious ties as your past, as lineage and ancestry during that time period where you came from. Okay, so it was very natural for you to have these gifts. Now, a lot of y'all watch YouTube videos, right? A lot of you watch tarot readings. You can also, high priestess, know when you watch a reading whether somebody is book taught or whether they are a natural gift at it. Anybody can read the directions and learn how to read tarot, but you also can watch a person's channel and see if the passion and the love that they put into it, the call to action, the Ace of Wands, if it's more natural for them as they receive, okay, and give out information as downloads. Some of you have this gift where you could do or be the same thing that I do, but some of you choose not to. Ace of Wands in reverse. But the Ace of Cups here, some of you know that it can be part of your calling because you would have never started watching tarot or readings, okay, or wanting to get information not only about your current situation, but who you are as a person and what made you up as a person. You want to know about your past life. So now we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This is crazy how everything is coming up in reverse except for the High Priestess, the food, the hunger, and the Ace of Cups so far. And there go the Emperor, like I said. I knew it was coming out. So some of you could have been married to bottom of the deck. For some of you, you were a I'm trying to I'm trying to find the right words to use on YouTube. Um, some of you were like, I don't want to say a side chick or a side dude, but for some of you, you remember I just told you a few minutes ago, right? That you were the person at the right hand or the left hand to I think the queen sat on the right. So the left hand to this emperor. The emperor, the pharaoh, um, a god, however you want to say it, okay? During whatever time period this was, you were the person that this king, emperor, pharaoh came to for information. And that's no secret, okay? All during any history, you can research that the seer, the eye, the all-knowing, okay, was the that leader or leadership was who they went to for information, okay, before they started a war, before they went out to battle, they would get information. Is it favorable from the gods for me to go to battle? Is it favorable from the gods? Do they approve of this? Do they approve of this offering or this, um, whatever type of offering it could have been? Okay, because you have a lot of slaves and then prisoners over here. So during those days, a, a lot of people or emperors or pharaohs, however the case may be, would sacrifice. Right? So, um, but what happened in this particular lifetime, though, your pharaoh, your emperor, your king, um, was not a very favorable one. He starved his slaves, his prisoners. He was not very good to the people of the land. Um, he lived a very short term, okay, of his reign here. And you see in this picture of the Two of Pentacles, right? And you see the ships in the back. And you see the ships right there in reverse. Um, it was a hard struggle for you to choose whether you wanted to leave this land, okay, to go forward, because the eye here, you knew what to do, you knew when it was time to go, you knew um what and how you contributed information. You weren't going to last very long next to this pharaoh, king, or emperor, whoever it was, too much longer, right? It's kind of like I'm feeling like the people of the land also, like, it feels like you were running for your life, okay? You're running for your life on the ships here. This is not how you came into this land or era, um, town, city, however you want to say. You grew up here, but it also, as a high priest or high priestess, you knew that the people was not going to accept you, okay? Far as your spiritual information in or seeing you as a witch, however the case may be. You understand? The pharaohs and things like that, they listened to the seers, the high priest and the high priestess, but that don't necessarily mean that the people of the land believed in it. A lot of people in the land could have had very different ideas to what their spirituality wanted to be. So I feel that this could have been a fight, okay, between the people and whoever this emperor was, um, that the emperor set the rules, the regulations, the policies for that land, right? Ace of Pentacles here, but everybody didn't want to follow that. You understand? So this could be, I'm just using an example. You know how when Jesus came to Rome, okay, but was living in another part of the city, but he was taken back to the Rome area where that they wanted to pass judgment, okay? But you still had the Pharaoh that was there that would listen to the high priest and the high priestess. But the people of the land also wanted to follow Jesus' um, work, his word, his following. So I feel that, like I said, and we all know the whole story, right? You had to eventually get on this ship and leave. I was not totally expecting this reading right now. I probably should have waited till this evening. But yeah, you see that? The land popped out. foreign affairs, solo, isolation, standoff, separation, estranged, lonely, and spread out. Exactly why I was speaking. Okay, so you could have went or left to another foreign land on this ship, and it was very hard for you to have to decide or to choose, because nobody really wants to live an area where they grew up at, right? You did fight famine and hunger and everything like that, but once you was brought into the kingdom, okay, and you sat next to this pharaoh, king, or emperor, you were part of that society. Okay, you were no longer part of ever becoming a prisoner or a slave. So I feel after the demise or the fall of this king, emperor, or pharaoh, um, you became very isolated. You were separated. Could also been through the battle, war, or the overtake of the land, and or the loss of the battle by this pharaoh, king, or emperor. Um, you were very lonely, because it's not going to be like 5 to 10 other priests and high priestess. You were like one of a kind. You understand? Yeah. Lighthouse. Warning, beware, make a detour, vigilance, obstacles to avoid, being a guide, use tact and diplomacy. So, for you having the foresight that you do, and you extremely have it now, um, in this realm, in this lifetime, you are very isolated type of person. You know that, right? You keep yourself isolated. You keep yourself really separated, even when you're in love relationship. hmm And this also could affect how you eat, how you don't eat. This also can affect, um, sometimes the way that you feel and view true love, because you always get or have that I know type of um, intuition, where you see things as a warning, as foresight. Once you're a high priest or a priestess, that never leaves you, even in this lifetime. You have a very keen sense of intuition. Now, it's not whether you want it to be that or not. That's what you were. Now, we have the eagle. Challenging the status quo, opportunity, new hope, perspective, okay, about the past, present, and the future. And a perspective is also considered like your perception. And I feel that perception also can be like your keen intuition, okay? So, very important, your perspective on how you seen the past, what you see and feel as keen intuition in your present moment, and having the all-knowing sense as the future. Okay. And like it says there, clear vision. Clear vision is also like your foresight. You have the vision because you're all-knowing, high priestess. Some of you have or is a Pisces, um, or you can have it very much in your chart. Or some of you still have this as Two of Pentacles as a choice, that you really decide not to be, not to let that side of you that's in your spirit, in your soul, comes out a lot. Okay. Um, Me as a channeler, I always been like this since a child. I just wasn't using tarot decks and cards and everything like that. These cards here, this is just a tool. I don't need the cards. I don't. It always been built in me, right? So as a child, I was saying things that I had no idea about, but they were accurate. A lot of people also call people like me and others um, black sheep of the family because a lot of times they speak their mind. People who are not very comfortable about other people in the family or things like that, that say stuff that is off kilter. Okay, and because I don't live in a box or never lived in a box, even as a child, um, people would assume that I shouldn't know that. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't predict that. Where did you get that from? It's always been in me. I just had to grow up with it or grow up into it. You understand? So once I learned about how to use the tarot deck, a lot of this times when I read a lot of these tarot cards, I give you a total different meaning. It don't be the meaning that come out of the book that come with the directions of these cards. High Priestess. Now we have imposing, powerful, independent, time alone. Attitude is everything calm, cool, and collected. I feel that also you knew as a past life. Look at her. What popped out. I feel that a lot of you that you knew as a past life, you could not be with the person who you wanted to be with. Some of you had to leave this person behind. And this is still playing out in this lifetime where some of you are still, if you want to call it a soulmate, twin flame, um, the one, a deep soul connection, or whatever the case may be, during whatever lifetime that this was or era, you did have somebody, okay? But you had to make a choice to kind of like be independent, live into your calling. You were a very powerful person, okay? You were in the reins or side by side with a very powerful person in your time period, and you could not be with the person that you love. That's probably why also that male female card is in reverse. Leaving a love relationship behind, and some of you still know and remember this. Now, it's not going to be totally all the time the person that you're thinking about right now. That person that you're thinking about right now in this lifetimes that live in your community, in your state or city, or you moved or they moved, you know that's not that particular person, right? First of all, number one, they're just in a shell of a body. That's just what they call your alien jumpsuit, okay? They're just in a shell of a body. But High Priestess, you know when you have been reincarnated, okay, or have met the spirit of the person you used to be with from whatever lifetime, because spirits and souls remember each other, not shells of bodies, okay? So, your soulmate, twin flame, the one, a pair of things, blooming love, faith, and deep soul connection. You already got the Ace of Cups here. And notice how, like I said, some of you was very much in love with this pharaoh, this king, or this emperor. Some of you fell in love with that person. And after their demise, you were forced to, of course, separate. Um, it could have been because of foreign affairs, which also during that time period, whatever it was, it could have been um, the foreign people that came in and had this battle with. Okay, and you warned, beware your king, emperor, or pharaoh about this, and to make a detour. Like, hey, Two of Pentacles, let's get on this ship and let's leave. But remember, as a king, an emperor, or a pharaoh, they have to make the right decisions for everybody. It couldn't have been personal. It had to be a decision for the whole land that an emperor chooses the right thing to do. I feel as a high priest or a high priestess, you did warn this king, emperor, or pharaoh about the foreigners. And I'm not saying foreigners mean somebody who is not of that era or that land to come in to where you were at. Okay, so foreign affairs would also could have been the people that this king, pharaoh, or emperor was bartering and exchanging with. Okay, also maybe this king, pharaoh, or emperor took land from these other people in a foreign area. Okay, and took over that. Like I said, I don't really know what time period this is. Um, I feel that also a lot of you are a very calm, cool, and collected type of person. This is the zen that comes off of you by being still, I feel, a high priest or a high priestess. Some of you, if you have this gift, look at their family came out. If some of you have this type of gift, if you were to accept it and to understand it and do your calling, um, a lot of things about how you feel on the inside will change. Angel and masteries. Yep. Oh, look at there. See what I'm saying? Angel of past life. And look what's all in the background. You see the camels there. You see the statues. You see Buddha. You see the time. You know, time is fluid. Time doesn't really exist. Okay, you see the Colosseums there, the angels, all type of things. Also seeing this card again as the High Priestess. And what is this? I am presence. This is who you are in this lifetime and the last. You have lost a lot of family members from the time that you were created. You went through a lot of different lifetimes. Okay, but each lifetime you were still a high priest or a high priestess. A lot of you could love church. A lot of you could be working with the church right now. You could be doing things for the church, whether it's choir, you know, orchestra, the band, playing an instrument for the church. Maybe you help to do offerings for the church. Whatever the case may be, maybe you grew up in the church and you now have separated that as a sense of family. Maybe you don't attend it like you used to. hmm But it's always going to be around you, somewhere in your family. Yep. Um, this is very creepy. This is very creepy how this came out. The angel of past life. This is who you've always been, whether you know it or not. Okay? Or you don't have to feel and know. This is still who you are in the present moment. Coming from when you first was created, from your past life into the present moment. However you look at it, the cards are still saying the same thing. I wasn't totally expecting this deep of a read because I really wasn't prepared for it. my mind wasn't nowhere near talking about anything like this. So that's what I get for pulling these past life cards right now. I should have just did a regular tarot spread. Okay. But you can always book a past life reading where I can really concentrate on your personal birthday, your time of birth, and everything like that. And it would be something similar, but it would be much deeper and more elaborated. I can't talk the way I want to talk and say what I want to say because I'm live, okay? Versus if you were having a private reading about your past life and who you are. So, a lot of things on what I want to say, I don't want to get banned by saying the wrong things and everything like that, right? Because people will take religion and also past life and anything like that very personal um, when it's really for everybody. It's not personal. We all had past life. That's where we came from. Okay. So, your some of you also can be a master 33 number. I have one of my moderators, her information is in my community tab where that she makes charts or give you a breakdown of what your master number is, who you are. And she did mine, right? And guess what mine is? 33 or the number 3. My master path, my life path number is a 3. And this is why I do what I do. I didn't really know that, but other synchronicities and things that I know and see how I read Vedic sidereal charts and things like that, I knew my number was 3 anyway. Um, but yeah, when she confirmed it for me through a breakdown, a printout, what I like to do, things that inspire me, blah, blah, blah. You can find her information. Her channel is Life Path Oracle. But you can, her information is in my community tab. You can reach out to her, tell her that Vesta Angels sent you, and get your printout of your life path number. Okay, and she's gonna break everything down to why you like doing this, why you are inspired to do this, why you have this type of level of creativity, what you meant to be doing, and everything like that, right? So I'm not surprised. Oh, look at there. Mine also is number 5. So we got 30 and we also got 24. So let's go ahead and end it here because we're at 48 minutes. Like I said, I may come back on later and do and look at there, at the bottom of the deck is a star card. Everybody knows that watch my channel that I am half Capricorn, half Aquarius, with the Aries moon. Okay, so the star card. The star card, which is one of the most important cards in the tarot deck, the sun and the star, right? So the star here is also saying that some of you still need to get into your calling. But it could be family issues that keep you from doing that. Some things that you do need to master. It also could be because of your sight or your perception of religion right now. But you have some past life calling that you need to, the star card here, get very assertive about to come into this timing of your, of the star. Okay. And what the Egyptians built the pyramids for or whatever, aligned up under the North Star. So everything connects, but let that be another reading. All right. I'll probably see y'all later and just do a regular tarot spread. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you next time.